This one thing I would like to know, how was your parents' reaction, Robin? Like when you said कि ठीक है मैंने adoption करना है, so how supportive were they, or were there any kind of restrictions or hesitation from their end, or they were all good to go?
So my mother was on board very quickly.
Mhm.
My sister was on board the moment I told her that I want to
Mhm.
go ahead with this. My father and brother both had a lot of reservations. So I talked to my father for a very long time. I made sure I tried to convince him for very long, but somewhere I felt like it is not, he doesn't want to support, but he doesn't know what lies ahead. Right?
Correct.
It was the fear of unknown rather
Ah.
than anything else. So I thought of giving him some time, that maybe
Hmm.
once he's able to soak in all this information, he might be able to handle it more properly. Now, once the baby is home, I think he's the one who loves the baby most. Like first thing in the morning, he wants to do is come and pick up the baby. He climbs up the stairs. Many times we sleep, he'll come, peek up in the room and see what the baby is doing and go down. And again, after some time, he'll come, then he'll pick up, and now he's the one. I knew and that would be the case, right? But yeah, he was not onboarded very easily in the initial stage when I applied for adoption. Similar with my brother, he was not very happy with the whole process, and we need one letter from your sibling, right? Undertaking
Mhm.
that
Correct.
God
Undertaking is
forbid anything
required.
is supposed to
Correct.
happen, that he or she should be taking care of the baby. He was not very happy to give the letter either. He was like, no, I don't want to give. So I said, anyways, it's going to happen, right? I want to adopt a baby. It's my choice, it's my life. I'm going to adopt a baby. I would you to be on board with the whole idea so that he has his uncle in his story, right? I want him to have a full family, right? I don't want him to only have a father. He should have a grandfather, grandmother, uncle, aunt, everyone. So please
Mhm.
be on board. He was a little stubborn at that time. Then, anyways, I had to have a sister, elder sister. She was more than happy. She was like, "You tell me what you want, I'll send it." So she sent sent the letter, and I got through the whole process. But now he's also on board properly.
Mhm.
He's very happy. Every day he calls. He wants to see the baby, how Abhinav is doing. So rather than baby, I should take the name maybe. So my baby's name is Abhinav. So every evening he calls up. He wants to see how Abhinav is doing. So he talks to him for almost 15-20 minutes. Talks to him like
Wow.
he yeah. My sister is on board, and the other part of it, like my mother was a little scared. She was that how my extended family is gonna react. I
हाँ.
was never bothered in a way
लोग
because
क्या कहेंगे?
I
That is the biggest fear. I think
correct
every
that
parent of our parents generation have. कि What will the
right.
others say?
Other will say, and especially my father's family, they are little too orthodox,
Hmm.
and she was little too worried that okay, when they get to know, how would they react? But I was amazed. Nobody reacted negatively. Nobody passed any bad comment after knowing that I have adopted a baby.
Hmm.
And that's where I feel like that the taboo we have made, that single man adoption, that how society is gonna perceive it, or how people gonna see it. At least nobody has said anything bad on my face for sure, right? Even a lot of people, they have my her parents have talked to. Once I got the baby home, they started calling all my relatives and telling them that okay, we have adopted a baby and his name is so and so. It was on cards for very long. Now finally we have Abhinav home. Everyone was very happy. Everyone was calling me, congratulating me, and I was kind of shocked, to be honest, that okay, this is not what I expected in the beginning.
This
So that's
taboo
what.
is, I think, very soon it's going to wipe off, because I think if I talk about 10-15 years back, even love
Yeah,
marriages had the similar kind of taboo. So
yeah,
I'm sure another 10 years or 15 years down the line, single parent, being a single parent, not just by adoption but even having a biological child and single parenting, I'm sure it's going to be much more acceptable and easygoing compared to what it is at present.
again, just one thing I want to add. We met a lot of people from Kara where, we had to go to a SA, get ourselves registered. Then we had to go to the agency where Abhinav was registered with, right? There we still met few people who were literally shocked that, okay, as a single father, we
अच्छा.
are adopting. No, legally, it's there on the paper, right? It's a law. A single father, you can
Correct.
adopt. But like both were doing the application together because he knew the application better and I was more of just an applicant. So we used to go to our SA, and there was one lady who's out of the system now, but she was not making it easy for us
Oh my God.
to get registered.
So
But
it's
then,
not just single females, but single male also are facing a similar problem, because a few months back I met a single mother, okay, and she had got a referral from Rajasthan, and she went all the way from Calcutta to Rajasthan to get or her daughter home, and they were like, "आप किसी आदमी को लेके आइए, हम आपसे नहीं बात करेंगे."
what? Seriously?
She was like, I am the mother, I have applied, and how can you say that you're not going to talk to me? मैं किसको लेके आऊंगी? I am the guardian. I have to do all
Yeah.
this thing. But this kind of, I think a lot of agencies and a lot of CCIs which are there in the small towns, or maybe even
Yeah.
टाउन से भी जो छोटे जो डिस्ट्रिक्ट हैं जगह हैं, so they need to be sensitized about this, despite that something is there on paper like this is legal, but still दिमाग में उनके अभी भी that is not registered yet, I feel. Now tell me, this is something might be weird. He calls both of you daddy?
No, he calls him daddy, and I want him to call me Acha.
Okay.
So,
What does that mean?
So, Acha in
Marathi.
Malayalam means
Oh, Malayalam. Okay. Daddy, no, father. And
Yeah.
but you are from Pune, right? You are a
I'm
Maharashtrian.
from Pune, yes. But one of my friend is a Malayali,
Uh-huh.
and he calls his father Acha. I didn't know that, in Malayalam you call your father Acha. And the
Uh-huh.
sound of Acha was very
Wow,
it
that
sounded very
vibration, you
pleasant.
found it very positive, is it?
Yes,
Yeah.
Oh,
yes.
that's so wonderful. So, how do you balance, like the work and, like the baby? As Ajinkya, you told me like you have a nanny as well, no, to help you guys out. So, how are you managing your work and the time for the baby? Because obviously, in India, getting leave for parenting a child for a female itself is difficult, and I don't know how challenging it is for the males then. So, how are you managing it?
No, for both of us, I think we were lucky. So I registered in 2018, I guess, right?
Uh-huh.
3.5 years I waited. So at that time, I was working in one company. There was no leave for adoption,
Paternity.
for especially
Adoption to
fathers.
correct.
Yeah. Right. So I fought over there with HR and everything. I got the leave done for 3 months for any single parent adoption. Then I switched my job. I went to another company. There also there was no policy. I fought there, got the policy implemented. By the time Abhinav came home, I was in the third company.
Okay, so you are the policy maker then.
So I'm so in this company again. I started the day I joined that okay, this is something on the cards. I'm still not sure when it's going to happen, but I definitely need your support because I definitely not going to leave my baby home alone after coming home. Maybe after 1 week or 2 weeks, right? I want him to know that okay, there is someone who's going to be with him continuously, maybe for the whole life. Right? At least till the time I'm alive, right? So, so I wanted to build that bond in the beginning. I wanted to give all of my time to Abhinav. So, and somehow my company did help me a lot. Say maybe not 3 months. They gave me almost 2.5 months off, complete off. And then maybe a month's time where I was like doing the maybe 50% work. That too, I was working from home, right? So that's where they helped me out a lot. But still, taking care of baby is definitely not an easy task. You have to compromise a lot of your leisure time, right? On your sleeps, your leisure time, and everything. So it's a pretty hectic balancing task where you have to start taking care of you. Because I started putting on weight, to be honest, because I had earlier I was going for running, in the evening I was going for a workout, and
Mm-hmm.
somehow everything stopped. At least for first 3 months, 4 months, I had no time for it. So then, eventually you learn to balance. It comes automatically. You learn to make time for everything. And the
Mm-hmm.
baby, you also see that he's more in a comfortable position. My parents are here. They take care of him for a couple of hours. We have a nanny who helps us. Ajinkya is there. So best thing is we built a support system which is very, very important, right? And I think that made our life a little easy. Not very easy. Of course, you have to be on your toes.
Once a
Uh,
parent, always a parent.
Once a parent, always a parent. So you have to be on your toes most of the time. But still, having a support system built from my company I'm working with the Jinka being there, my parents being there, our nanny being there.
I think what I believe is that if you organize yourself a little bit, if that waiting period that a lot of parents complain about, that, oh, I have to wait for 2 years, I have to wait for 3 years. I think you should use that time to really build your support system, and also to, talk to parents who have gone through it already. So how
Mm-hmm.
have they organized themselves? What have they
Correct.
done to sort of like manage both work, life, and the baby? All
Mm-hmm.
of those things together. I think if you do your research a little bit and then sort of prepare yourself, then it gets a little easy.
Mm-hmm.
It's definitely not an easy
Cakewalk.
task, but it gets easier. It gets less difficult, is what I can say.
Correct.
And luckily, my company was kind enough to extend a 6 months leave to me as the
Wow.
primary caregiver. So
Which
very,
company you're
very.
working in, Ajinkya? You must tell to the public, they need to know which company. So,
I don't mind at all. I'm working with WeWork India Private Limited, and they have been extremely generous and they have been extremely kind to extend this support to me as the primary caregiver. And
Mhm.
initially it was only 3 months, but they themselves came forward and said that, listen, you will be the primary caregiver, so we are happy to extend 6 months leave to you. And so as of now, I'm on leave. Now, next month onwards, I'll be starting. There also, they are, extending support and saying, okay, you start off with half day. You can come half
Wow.
day, and then the remaining half of the day, you can either work from home or take the day off, so you can be with the baby till the baby is a
Mm-hmm.
little more independent, starts walking around a little bit. Because right now, Abhinav is completely dependent on us to
Absolutely.
even
He's too
move.
small, He's
He
just
is very
9 months
small.
old. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think until
So
children turn, like 3.5, 4 years old, they are totally dependent on the parents. So until they
that's
actually
right.
learn to talk and a little bit of self-dependency is there. So it's
Yeah.
very difficult for them, to leave them alone all the time. So that's
Yeah.
very difficult. But Ajinkya,
And
I would like to know, because this question is definitely going to pop up in the viewer's mind later on once we post this. Like on papers, like since Robin is the, like the legal father, like you are actually co-parenting, or because you both are friends and you understand each other, so you have, like same vibrations and all those things. But how did your company decide to give you the leave? Because definitely they will ask for paperwork and all those things, like any
yeah, so
organization for
I
that matter. So,
correct. So I told them that I'm going to be the primary caregiver, and I am going to be co-parenting. And then
mm-hmm.
I actually gave them the application which Robin had submitted.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, my manager knew Robin already. So
Oh,
then
okay.
she also put up a case with the HR saying that this is the case, so and so, and he's going to be the primary caregiver. And
Mm-hmm.
that's how they extended. Otherwise, initially it was a regular 3 months paternity leave that they were planning to give me, but then there's a policy as the primary caregiver now.
Mm-hmm.
They have sort of made it gender neutral. They don't call it maternity leave anymore.
Mm-hmm.
To make it gender neutral, they have called it
Mm-hmm.
primary caregiver leave. So
Mm-hmm.
that's how they came forward and said, okay, you can avail the benefit of this leave as well. now a lot of organizations are talking about inclusion,
Yeah.
inclusive work culture, but it's not inclusive only for women, right? It can also be inclusive for men.
Correct,
So
correct.
trying to make it as gender neutral as possible. I think that's a step forward, and like you said, it might sort of give ideas and maybe inspire a few companies where the policies are still traditional to sort of alter their policies.
Right.